said something profound earlier, that you were searching for a way to bring out the best in you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Same here, you know. You have a lot of young girls who are like that right now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
young men as well. But as a woman, can't talk from a man's perspective. So as a woman, what would you, how would you advise them? You know, what would you say to them to, you know, basically guide them in the way of bringing out their best self through Christ? You know, what would be like the three steps or so that you would advise them to take?
Well, the first thing is that you have to seek help.
Yeah.
Um, transformation comes with transformation is a process. You won't go to your bed tonight as a caterpillar and wake up tomorrow as a butterfly. It's not gonna happen, right? And so you have to go through the process, but you have to have something that is called intentionality, meaning you have to put out the effort in whatever it is that you want to see being made manifest in your life. You have to be determined. You have to first realize, identify that there is a gap in your life. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
no. So if you know, say, listen, why I have some little dirty ways, I mean, really need to fix those dirty ways, you will never be able to adjust and to improve until you identify which area in your life that you need to fix. Once you've identified the areas in your life that you need to fix, you can say, all right, then boom, now that I see that this is an issue, what steps can I now take to fixing this issue, to fixing this challenge, right? But you also have to be very open enough to not condemn yourself in the process, because we're not perfect. None of us
Yeah.
are perfect. And a lot of the times we strive for perfection, but what we need to strive for is progression, right? Because we will never achieve perfection until we reach a heaven. So while we're here on earth, we need to work on ourselves, but strive for progression instead, right? And so you have to have that mindset of evolving. If you don't believe in moving and growing and developing, you're not going to be able to go into that level of transformation or achieve that level of transformation that you want. So you have to, one, identify that there is a lacking, right? Become very intentional that, listen, I need to fix this area, right? And intentionality, of course, goes hand in hand with putting in the work, right? Don't judging yourself in the process either, because none of us are perfect. I can
Mm-hmm.
guarantee you that there will always be an area in our lives that needs fixing. And so God has to do a constant overhaul in all of our lives, maybe in different area, but at some point in time he has to do that kind of construction work on all of us. And so we just have to be very willing. And as a young woman, we have to also understand our worth and our value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your worth is not predicated, or it's not limited to, your body or your physicality or your pulchritude, because at the end of the day, your physicality is going to is
Yeah.
gonna fade. And if
Yeah.
that's all you base your life or your value on, I can guarantee you that you will find or attract people who will only treat you as a mere commodity. But when your worth transcends or move beyond your physicality or your pulchritude, you will find that there will be a greater appreciation for your mind, right? So yes, many young women, and it's just really sad, but I do pray that, and I'm not here to condemn anybody, but you find that young ladies who don't understand their worth, right?
Yeah.
Will believe that they sell themselves short, right? And rather than a man leading them to the king, they get led to a king size bed. And that's not what
Wait,
that's
wait, wait, wait. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Repeat that, please.
So what I was saying is that there is a lack when you have a lack of reference in terms of your
Mm-hmm.
value. And it's sad to say that many young women have settled for men who leads them to a king size bed rather than to the King of Kings, which is Jesus Christ. And so
Yeah.
when you understand your worth, you're not gonna devalue yourself and your worth because you want to be loved. Because let me tell you something, love will never force you to do something that is out of your nature or out of timing.
Yeah.
right? Because everything has its timing, Joshua. But at the end of the day, you have to recognize that you have to wait the process. Love waits, love respects. And if somebody loves you and respects you, they will wait for you, right? And so for young women also, the world is rough for women, right? Because women have to work twice as hard, to get to the level of that of a man. And it's sad to say, but that's the way our society has been constructed over the years. And whilst it is that many women have, matriculated higher level of education, you find that we still have the struggle even in the workplaces for our worth to be recognized and to be validated, right? So a woman might be doing 10 times the work, of her male counterpart, but yet he might be getting more money than her because of the value that they have placed on the female within the workplace market. That over time, that is changing. But I just want to say to young women that we have to work harder. And the fact that we have to work harder, we have to hold ourselves to a particular standard of excellence. We have to hold ourselves and realize that we're not just doing it for ourselves, but we're doing this for the generation of women who are coming up, who are going to be looking on to us to say, well, if she did it, I can do it too, right? And if we drop the ball, we will leave a generation disappointed because we were never brave enough or courageous enough to push forward.
Wow, that was like a mouthful. Like, honestly, that was a mouthful, Miss Lawrence. You dropped some gems there, So one, identify the lack, and you're saying that women, you're not gonna find, was it like a make, you're not gonna, like somebody would have said, all right, may I make up this with that, you can't make up how you feel, you can't replace how you feel with love from someone else. You can't replace,
Right.
Miss Lawrence, like right now, right about now, my mind is legit blown. Like it is blown out of this world, Miss Lawrence. Like, honestly. So one, identify the lacking. What's 2 and 3?
So you have to you identify, become intentional, right?
Yeah.
About what it is that you want to do. Don't condemn yourself in the process of growth, right? Respect where you are, understand where you are, and work at it, right? So become intentional, right? No, identify, become intentional. Don't condemn yourself. Stick to the process. Stick to the process in knowing that where you are now is not where you're going to be in the next 5-10 years. If you remain consistent and hold yourself to a high level of excellence, right? You're not going to be perfect, right? And as I said before, don't strive for perfection. Strive for progression. Because perfection just simply means that you are trying to compete with systems, life and its systems. And trust me, that I believe is like chasing a mirage. It keeps shifting. It's never stable. And so when you strive for progression, it means that you're dealing with self. You're dealing with you. Whereas perfection tends to want to compare and to contrast with who else is around. And if Joshua got a 9, I need to get a 10. And if he got a 10, I need to get an 11. So you see, it's always it's fleeting. But when you strive for perfection, progression, you can say, listen, I'm at an 8 right now, but by the next 6 months, I must get to a 9. So what you find is that the bar you set is yourself and nobody else.
Mind blown. Mind blown. Where's my mind? It's blown.
I have done several interviews before, and I remember saying to one of the interview, I did not choose youth development. I did not. As a matter of fact, I had my eyes set on becoming a medical doctor because at the time, if you were a doctor or a lawyer, say, boy, you're not ready yet.